Coach Rye here. Today we are breaking down Olympia Winner for the whole wellness division versus the Olympia Amateur Winner who won her pro card. Judging happening just days apart, but what is the difference between what is now the standard of the wellness division versus what is just turning pro? And I know a lot of you have a lot of questions about it, but you're going to get great insight into the direction of this division, where things are going, and what you need to be focused on if you want to be a wellness competitor. By the way, first and foremost, the free trial. It's going to be gone. It's going away. We're going to get rid of this thing. So if you want to hop in here, grab your phone right now, teamfflex.com/7-day trial. Get to train with me free for 7 days, okay? Help you with whatever goal you got. We'll build you training splits, give you nutrition, give you feedback on posing, physique assessment, whatever it is you're after. You can get it all here. It's a free experience. You don't get auto charge. It's not like, at the end of the 7 days, like those freaking things in the App Store that drive me nuts, it's going to charge you. No, we don't do that. So this is a totally free experience. Like I said, it is going to go away. Type it in right now before you're done watching this video. You could already be in there set up talking to me in the app. So do not miss out on this. It will change the game for you. Okay, here's what we got. Again, we're looking at Eduarda. She won the entire Olympia, and we have Orleannys over here, Orleannys. Not sure how to say the name. Sorry if I'm butchering it. I'm doing my best. And she won the amateur row. Got her pro card. Okay, cool. So let's take a look, because a lot of people look at this and they get a little bit confused, right? What do we see here? So we can see on both athletes very wellness-esque types of looks, obviously, considering that, we're looking at the best top in the world, the standard, the criteria with Eduarda, and then an athlete over here that has just turned pro. That's going to be, shoulder fullness, shape to the upper body. Pretty comparable on these two, honestly. A good taper in at the midsection. We can see that here for sure. We got glute structure from the front. We got quad fullness, everything that you would expect to see on a wellness competitor. Now, what are the big differences? What are the big takeaways? Well, for one, I think Eduarda actually appears just a little bit softer in her condition, which is interesting, right? And it throws a loop for a lot of athletes. They're wondering, okay, how does somebody go from the NPC, get a pro card, be a little bit harder than the Olympia champion? The answer really does lie in the fact that a lot of times athletes, when they're less advanced, they do tend to bring in more conditioning to show a quality physique on stage, meaning that they over-focus on being leaner because they don't have that same level of muscle. And, I think that we tend to see very, very close here as far as conditioning goes, but Eduarda does just appear a tad softer. Over here, Orleannys, she's got, a lean look, a little bit leaner. She's got a very tight waist taper. Everything is complete. Everything looks great here. A little bit more depleted in her upper glute, though, right? Not as much glute muscle here either, and not as much quad density in general. So those are very big differences into how much you need to condition, right? If you have less muscle overall, you're going to have to come in a little bit tighter to showcase your physique the same way within that criteria. And a lot of athletes don't realize that. But as a coach who's, worked with athletes for freaking ever now, I can tell you that that's for sure. Your look is going to be different depending where you want to bring in how much muscle you got, your right conditioning level, all of that, right? So very comparable looks, a little bit less muscle going on here, a little bit leaner to compensate for that, I think, right? Eduarda's got a very full look, a lot of fullness in the shoulders. Her midsection doesn't appear as tight because it's not, because she's got a lot of fullness all around the quads and, the glutes and everything there. So it's all coming together to showcase, okay, well, that's the biggest difference, right? More advancement in wellness, especially a more muscular division. When you start to go bigger and bigger, that's what they're going to look for in the pro leagues. Go figure. And, if you watch the Eduarda videos where we look at her physique from previous to there, what did she really do the most? She grew. So wellness competitors, I hope you're growing. I hope you're working on it, right? Let's look from the back. This is where you get the full story completely every time, especially with wellness because it's so obvious. But, we look over here, good shoulder shape, good taper in. She's got good structure to the glutes, a lot of great shape there. Tie-ins coming through. Hamstrings are here, quad sweep, upper glute is all there. But, it is not as filled out. It is not as developed in general. And I think that makes a big difference. Also appears very lean. But again, like I said, you got to get a little bit leaner, showcase that muscle when you need more muscle in general. So she's got great shape, just kind of needs to fill out more, add more to the glutes, more to the upper glute, more balance in the quads and the hamstrings here. This tie-in will become more 3D when you fill it out more, when you have more muscle, in other words. And that's the biggest difference between her and Eduarda. I mean, pretty clearly, right, is Eduarda's glutes very filled out up top, very dense, a lot of 3D, like almost a thick look to that tie-in because of how much muscle's there. The quads, the hamstrings, everything is very, very dense, filled out, a lot of muscle. So that's what you need to know, athletes, right? Like if you look at this and you say, okay, well, I'm confused how those things line up. Why is the amateur athlete, that went pro, so she's not an amateur now, but she came into this show as one? Why is she looking leaner than, Miss Olympia? Well, the answer is because, again, you have to know where you're at in your journey, what those variables are that you're going to focus on. Your best look, honestly, in wellness is probably neither of these. You need to know where your physique's going to fit best. Is it leaner? Is it softer? Do you need more of this muscle, less of that one? Do you need to change your shape of the upper body and do, these types of things are the focus. And that's what each of these athletes have to do, right? You got to always bring your best within that realm of criteria. And then you basically got to continue to do that over and over and over until you are locked, loaded, and ready to be competing at the top level. And that's what we see here. So let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think these are pretty comparable looks? Do you think that you prefer one or the other? Or, it's pretty interesting to see how advanced some NPC athletes are coming in at this point, like Orleannys here. So let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. Do not miss out on the free trial. It would be such a shame. I've literally had athletes message me and say, hey, a few tweaks you gave me helped me win my show. I would not have won it had you not told me those things on the trial. It happens. So come along, check it out. Thanks for watching. Coach Rye is out.